Ford has been putting trucks, SUVs, and cars on the road for over a century. And if you own one, you already know they're built tough. But tough doesn't mean trouble-free. Over time, every Ford develops its quirks, its warning lights, its little gremlins that make you wonder whether you need to call a shop or whether you can just handle it yourself. Here's the truth that most mechanics won't volunteer. A massive number of the most common Ford repairs are completely within reach of the average person. No lift, no specialty tools, no years of experience, just the right knowledge, the right parts, and the confidence to get your hands a little dirty. And the payoff is enormous. We're talking about repairs that shops routinely charge $200, $500, even $800 or more for, done in your driveway for a fraction of that cost. Today we're walking through 10 real Ford repairs that you can absolutely do yourself. These aren't tips about topping off your windshield washer fluid. These are genuine, meaningful fixes for problems that Ford owners deal with every single day. Whether you drive an F-150, a Ranger, a Mustang, an Explorer, a Fusion, or an Escape, something on this list applies to you right now. Let's get into it. Repair number 1. Replacing the spark plugs on a Ford Triton V8 without snapping them off. If you own an F-150, an Expedition, or an Explorer with the 5.4-liter Triton V8, particularly from the 2004 to 2008 era, you've probably already heard the horror story. Ford's two-piece spark plug design for these engines was one of the most controversial engineering decisions in the brand's modern history. The plugs were installed from the factory with an extended tip that, over time and heat cycles, would carbon weld itself into the cylinder head. Mechanics who tried to remove them incorrectly snapped them off constantly, turning a simple tune-up into a $1,500 cylinder head repair. But here's the thing. Experienced DI years figured out the correct procedure years ago, and it works reliably every time. The key is heat and patience. You start by running the engine to full operating temperature, then letting it cool slightly. Not fully cold, just warm. You apply a generous amount of penetrating oil around the base of each plug and let it soak for at least 15 minutes. Then, instead of trying to remove the plug in one motion, you use a 6-point spark plug socket and gently work the plug back and forth, loosening maybe an eighth of a turn, retightening slightly, loosening again, walking it out gradually rather than forcing it. The replacement plugs are standard items available at any auto parts store, and the full set of 8 costs around $40 to $60. Done correctly, this is a 2-hour job that saves you $300 to $500 over a shop price. And on later F-150 assess with the Coyote 5.0 or the EcoBoost engines, the plug situation is far more straightforward. A genuinely easy job that any first-timer can handle with confidence. Repair number 2. Fixing the Ford F-150 door latch and actuator without removing the glass. This is one of the most common complaints among F-150 owners, particularly from the 2004 to 2014 generation. You go to open your door and the handle pulls freely, but nothing happens. The latch isn't catching, or the interior release isn't connecting. The dealer quotes you $200 to $300 to fix what is essentially a $30 part and a 45-minute job. The door latch and actuator assembly on most F-100s and Ford trucks of this era is accessed by removing the interior door panel, which involves popping off a few plastic trim covers, removing 4 to 6 screws, and gently unclipping the panel from the door frame. Once the panel is off, you'll find the latch mechanism at the rear edge of the door, held in by 3 or 4 Torx screws and connected by 2 or 3 rod linkages that clip in and out by hand. You don't need to remove the window glass. You don't need to drop the door. You unclip the rods, remove the Torx screws, pull the old latch out, drop the new one in, reconnect the rods, and reinstall the panel. The whole process is remarkably simple once you've seen it once, and replacement latch assemblies with the actuator included are available for $25 to $50 online. This is one of those repairs where the confidence barrier is far higher than the actual difficulty. Repair number 3. Solving the Ford Escape and Explorer coolant leak from the degas bottle. If you own a Ford Escape, Explorer, or Edge from roughly 2013 to 2019, there's a very specific coolant leak that you need to know about, and that you can fix yourself in under an hour. The degas bottle, which is Ford's terminology for the coolant overflow and pressurization reservoir, on these models is made from a plastic that becomes brittle with age and heat cycling. Over time, the bottle itself cracks, or the plastic fitting where the lower hose connects deteriorates and begins to seep coolant. The symptoms are easy to read. you'll notice a sweet smell from the engine bay. You might see dried coolant residue on the outside of the bottle, and your coolant level will slowly drop without any obvious puddle under the car. If you ignore it long enough, you'll start getting a low coolant warning and eventually an overheating risk. The fix is replacing the degas bottle, and this is one of the most satisfying DIY jobs on these Ford SUVs. You let the engine cool completely, drain the coolant from the lower radiator hose, disconnect the 2 or 3 hoses going into the bottle, unclip the electrical connector for the coolant level sensor, and remove the 2 bolts holding the bottle to the bracket. The new bottle slides right in. Everything reconnects. You refill with the correct Ford-specified orange coolant. And this is important, don't use universal green coolant on these engines. And you're done. The replacement bottle costs $30 to $60. A shop will charge you $150 to $250 for this repair. You just did it in your driveway. Repair number 4. Replacing the mass airflow sensor on EcoBoost engines to fix rough running. The EcoBoost engines, found across the F-150, the Fusion, the Escape, the Edge, and more, are genuinely impressive pieces of engineering. Turbocharged, fuel-efficient, and powerful. But they do have one vulnerability that shows up regularly as they age. The mass airflow sensor gets contaminated. The MAF sensor measures the amount of air entering the engine, so the ECU knows how much fuel to inject. When it gets coated with oil, vapor, dust, or debris from a dirty air filter, it starts sending inaccurate readings. The result is rough idle, hesitation under acceleration, poor fuel economy, and usually a check engine light with a P0101 or P0102 code. Shops will sometimes replace the MAF outright, charging $150 to $250 for the part and labor, when a $7 can of MAF cleaner would have fixed the problem in 5 minutes. Before you replace the sensor at all, spray it. The MAF sensor on EcoBoost engines is located in the air intake tube between the air filter box and the turbo inlet. It's held in by 2 small Torx screws and has a single electrical connector. Remove it, spray the sensing wires inside with dedicated MAF cleaner. Never use brake cleaner or general electrical contact cleaner, only MAF-specific cleaner. Let it dry for 20 minutes. Reinstall, clear the code, and test drive. In the majority of cases, this fixes the problem completely. If cleaning doesn't resolve it, a replacement MAF sensor for most EcoBoost applications runs $40 to $80 online. Either way, you're handling this one yourself. Repair number 5. Fixing the Ford Mustang convertible. To top switch and motor without a specialist. Mustang convertible owners know this pain. The power top starts hesitating, moving slowly, stopping partway through the cycle, or refusing to operate entirely. The instinct is to take it to a Ford specialist who charges accordingly. And convertible top electrical work has a reputation for being expensive and mysterious. But the vast majority of Mustang convertible top failures come down to 2 things: a worn switch or a weak hydraulic pump motor, both of which are DIY replaceable. The convertible top switch on the S197 and S550. Mustang is located in the center console and simply unclips from the bezel. The connector unplugs from the back, the new switch plugs in, and the bezel clips back into place. The switch itself costs $20 to $40. If the switch is fine and the top still moves slowly or stops, the hydraulic pump motor, located in the trunk behind the rear seat back, is the next target. Accessing it involves removing the trunk lining panels, which clip off without tools. The pump unit unbolts from its mount, the hydraulic lines unscrew using a line wrench, and the electrical connector unplugs. A replacement pump for most Mustang convertible applications runs $80 to $150. Reinstallation is the reverse of removal, and the system self-primes when you cycle the top a few times after installation. This is a job that a soft top specialist charges $400 to $600 for. You just brought that cost down to the parts alone. Repair number 6. Cleaning the Ford throttle body to eliminate idle surge and hesitation. Across virtually every fuel-injected Ford engine, the F-150, the Ranger, the Explorer, the Mustang, the Fusion, throttle body contamination is one of the most common causes of rough idle, surge at idle, and hesitation from a stop. Carbon deposits build up on the throttle plate and the bore walls over time, and they disrupt the precise airflow that the engine management system expects at light throttle. The fix is a throttle body cleaning, and on most Ford applications, this is a 20-minute job. You locate the throttle body in the intake system. It's the round housing between the air intake tube and the intake manifold, with the accelerator cable or electronic drive motor attached to it. You remove the intake tube from the throttle body, stuff a rag into the intake opening to keep debris out, and spray throttle body cleaner on a clean rag to wipe down the throttle plate and bore. Here's the critical detail that most people miss on Ford's electronic throttle body. You do not spray the cleaner directly into the bore with the throttle open, especially on drive-by-wire systems. Apply it to the rag and wipe carefully. The reason is that flooding the idle air control passages with cleaner can cause issues with the electronic throttle control system. Wipe, don't soak. Reinstall the intake tube. Perform a throttle body relearn by letting the car idle for 5 minutes without touching the gas, and you'll notice a cleaner, more stable idle immediately. Total cost: 1 can of throttle body cleaner at $6. Repair number 7. Replacing the Ford Ranger and F-150 rear differential fluid before it destroys your gears. This one falls into the category of maintenance that most Ford truck owners never think about until it's too late. The rear differential, the housing at the center of the rear axle, contains a hypoid gear set that runs in its own dedicated fluid. That fluid breaks down over time, loses its extreme pressure additives, and if it's never changed, the ring and pinion gears inside begin to wear prematurely. A rear differential rebuild or replacement can cost $800 to $2,000. Changing the fluid costs about $20 and takes 30 minutes. On Ford trucks and SUVs with a solid rear axle, which covers most F-100s, Rangers, and Explorers, the differential has a fill plug and a drain plug on the rear of the housing. You remove the fill plug first so you know you can refill before you drain anything. Then remove the drain plug, let the old fluid flow out, reinstall the drain plug, and fill with the correct fluid through the fill hole until it just starts to overflow. That's your indicator that the level is correct. Ford specifies a 75W140 synthetic gear oil for most of their limited slip rear differentials, and if your truck has a limited slip diff, you also need to add a friction modifier additive, typically about 4 ounces, to prevent the clutch packs inside from chattering on tight turns. Skipping the friction modifier on a limited slip axle causes a distinctive clunking or hopping feeling on low-speed turns. It's a simple thing to get right, and it makes an enormous difference. Repair number 8. Fixing the Ford Explorer and Edge transfer case. Grinding noise. The grinding or groaning noise that Ford Explorer and Edge owners sometimes experience during low-speed parking lot turns is a well-documented issue with the PTU, the power transfer unit, which is essentially the transfer case on Ford's all-wheel drive system. And in the majority of cases, it's not a mechanical failure. It's a fluid issue. The PTU on these Ford SUVs has its own small fluid reservoir that is critically undersized and runs the fluid hot. Ford has issued updates to the recommended fluid change interval as a result, but plenty of these vehicles are out there with PTU fluid that hasn't been changed in 50,000 miles or more, well past where it should be. The PTU drain and fill plugs are accessible from under the vehicle. You'll want to put the front end on ramps or jack stands for comfortable access. The procedure is the same as any differential service. Remove the fill plug first, drain the old fluid, reinstall the drain plug, fill with the correct fluid to the level of the fill hole, reinstall the fill plug. Ford specifies a 75W140 synthetic for the PTU on most of these applications. Many owners who've done this service report that a grinding noise they'd been dealing with for months disappeared completely after the fluid change. Part store quotes and dealer quotes for this service run $150 to $250. The fluid costs about $15, and the job takes 20 minutes. Repair number 9. Replacing the Ford Fusion and Focus brake pads and rotors as a first-timer. Brake jobs intimidate people who've never done one, and that intimidation is almost entirely unwarranted. On a Ford Fusion, Focus, Escape, or Mustang, a front brake pad and rotor replacement is one of the most straightforward DIY jobs in automotive repair, and it's a skill that, once learned, applies to virtually every car you'll ever own. You lift the front of the car and support it safely on jack stands. You remove the wheel, you locate the brake caliper, the clamp-shaped unit sitting over the rotor, and remove the 2 slide bolts holding it to the bracket using a 12mm or 14mm socket depending on the model. The caliper slides off, and you hang it with a wire hook or zip tie so it's not hanging by the brake line. The old pads fall out of the bracket. You remove 2 more bolts to take the bracket off, slide the old rotor off the hub, and the replacement rotor slides straight on. Before installing the new pads, you need to compress the brake caliper piston back into its bore using a C-clamp or a dedicated brake piston tool. This creates space for the new, thicker pads. reassemble in reverse order, pump the brake pedal a dozen times before moving the car to reseat the caliper piston against the new pads, bed the brakes in with a series of moderate stops from 30 miles per hour, and you're done. A quality set of pads and rotors for most Ford applications runs $60 to $100 online. A shop charges $250 to $400 for the same job. This is one of the best first DIY repairs anyone can do. Repair number 10. Diagnosing and replacing the Ford evAP system. Purge valve to clear a stubborn check engine light. We're finishing with one of the most frustrating check engine light scenarios that Ford owners face, and one of the cheapest fixes once you know what you're looking for. If your Ford has a check engine light and your OBD scanner pulls a P0441, P0443, or P0446 code, you're dealing with an evAP system fault. evAP stands for Evaporative Emission Control. It's the system that captures fuel vapors from the tank and routes them into the engine to be burned. The most common failure point in Ford's evAP system is the purge valve, a small solenoid that opens and closes to control when those vapors enter the engine. When it fails, it either sticks open, causing a rich running condition and rough idle, or it sticks closed, causing the system to fail its self-test and set a code. Either way, the check engine light comes on and stays on. The purge valve on most Fords, Fusions, Focuses, Escapes, F-150S, Explorers, is a small black plastic solenoid about the size of your fist, located on the intake manifold or in the vapor line between the charcoal canister and the intake. It's held in by a single clip or one small bracket bolt and has a 2-wire electrical connector and 2 hose connections. Replacement takes 5 minutes. The valve itself costs $15 to $30 online. Swap it out, clear the code, and in the vast majority of cases, the light stays off. You just solved a check engine light for $20 that a shop would have charged a $100 diagnostic fee just to look at. The bottom line: 10 repairs, 10 opportunities to take control of your Ford ownership experience and keep your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. From spark plugs to brake jobs to check engine lights to differential fluid, every single repair we walked through today is something you can genuinely do yourself with basic tools and the knowledge you now have. The pattern you see across all of these is simple. The parts are affordable. The procedures are learnable. What's expensive isn't the fix itself. It's the labor markup and the diagnostic fee that you pay when you hand the problem to someone else. And there's nothing wrong with using a shop for the jobs that genuinely require one. But these 10? These are yours. Get yourself a good OBD2 scanner, a basic socket set, a jack and jack stands, and the confidence that comes from knowing your vehicle. Ford builds these things to be maintained, and the information is out there. You're already watching it right now. If this helped you out, hit like and subscribe. There's more Ford content on the way, and I want you to be here for it. Tell me in the comments which repair you're tackling first. I'll see you in the next one.